All right, hello everyone. Looks like we're live here. It's been a while since I've done a public live stream, so welcome everyone. Usually we do the members ones on Thursday privately, but figured just change it up today, do something a little different for the daily video. And I'll just do my live reaction to the FOMC. All right, so markets here initially taking a little bit of a dump. Nothing too major. Do got to get back above this level here on the SPY. And that's going to be this white trend line. That's the level we've been following. On the SPX, we kind of kissed that low today on the initial reaction. So right there, basically came into a kiss there. Need to kind of get back above this area. If we do start to push up, I think we probably get to about 44.75. But ultimately, I think directional bets get killed. So we'll be down, we'll be up. I don't really think we're going to finish much more than flat to positive. We are seeing a little bit of it here. Powell's set to be on right now, but really the headlines right now are rates unchanged, obviously, but Fed seeing 50 basis points. The dot plot 50 basis points higher than expected in June. So again, kind of basically the best way to put it would be a hawkish pause. And I think they kind of had to, if you were going to pause, you had to be hawkish, and I'll explain why. And right now, my concern here for the market is, and I mean, short term, who really cares here, but for big picture, this is a problem here. So 2-year yield hit a new 16-year high. It is pulling back in off the highs here. If we look at an intraday, big pop, pulling back here. But basically, if you're not familiar, so the 2-year yield, where that sits, is basically going to dictate Fed policy. It's going to dictate whether they need to hike or not. And right now, the Fed funds rate is 5.25 to 5.50. They left that unchanged. The effective rate, meaning essentially the average going rate, is 5.33. I have that marked right here. We are at 5.1. So it's not like this will take a lot to get above that. Why does that matter? Because if it gets above that, the Fed has to keep hiking. If by some chance, let's say the 2-year breaks out in the next week or so, guess what? There ain't a Fed meeting until November, right? So they're going to be behind the curve again. So they're kind of they don't have a lot of wiggle room here. So that is a concern. So they, I guess, basically left the door open for another hike in November. Essentially, that's what I'm getting from this. We are starting to pump up, seeing a little short covering here. And again, if we look at the SPX, I'm looking at 44.75. That's right there. I'm using, kind of the 0DT gamma that I can see to kind of come up with that. 44.50 is also, I think we probably close right at 44.50 when it's all said and done. That would not shock me again. We're sitting right there right now. You're seeing them get a little bit of a bid. If we can get above this, then we could squeeze up to that area, 44.70, 44.75. Maybe we come back in after that. But yeah, markets here pulling back, or I should say markets pumping after a pullback. But yeah, live reaction to Powell. You guys can feel free to ask any questions here. I'm just kind of going to go off the cuff, essentially. We can look at the Qs really quickly. That is... flat to positive there. So back recovering. VIXI never really got a bid, right? It just went green there. So it's telling us this sell-off was not really that strong. And it is back to red. Tesla got a big pump. I'm not sure if I was in a meeting, but there was a big pump a little bit before that news. So Tesla getting a bid, helping out the market here. And yeah, looks pretty pedestrian so far. Just looking at everything I've got. So the market's now pulling back just a little bit here. We're also 2,000. Keep an eye on this too, because we have that head and shoulder pattern that's in play. Watch that 200 moving average there. Where that closes will be important, especially by the end of the week. Dow actually holding up pretty nicely. That's up 0.5%. Semis flat. That's in a little bit of trouble. Definitely been on the softer side lately. Cloud holding up okay. Transports getting a little bit of a bounce, but that's starting to put in a bear pattern there. Not in love with that right now. XHB, not a terrible bounce. VNQ, XLF holding up. KRE is green. We did have puts. Sold it right at the bottom yesterday. So that was a nice little gain for us there. KBE soft. Broker dealers hanging in there okay. Crude also pulling back off the highs, down 77 cents. This is really top heavy. You know, I think if you're aggressive, you can short this here. I don't know if I would chase it now. Yesterday would have been the time. But even so, I think if this pops up one more time, it doesn't have a lot of room. But yeah, just kind of giving her a little rundown here of sectors. So market seems to be holding steady. Yeah, Tozy saying this is going to get interesting, but no, not expecting major moves. We're used to on Fed Day, possible pump to 447 or 450, then dump unless we really squeeze. That's exactly what I think. I don't know about 447. That'd be not today. That would be a mega pump. That's all the way up here. I'm thinking more like 446. If we look at the SPY, yeah, 445 to 446. I think we can get up there. This is kind of what I'm expecting here into the close, something like this. And then I think tomorrow we get kind of the bigger move, if there is one. But the bears right now, so big picture, I know there's a lot going on, but bears right now, you got to put in, tomorrow, you know, regardless of what happens, we gap up, you got to crap it. You got to put in a lower high here. Especially if we get up into this area, you got to defend that again, and we got to get a lower high to break this trend line and really get it below this. That's why I put so much emphasis on these wide range bars. You got to get it closed below that. If you do that, then we can do some actual damage here. But until then, bulls are still hanging in there okay. I still have the lean that we head down into October, but in the immediate short term, you know, bears got to do some proving here. I think there's a chance we could do, you know, if we don't pull back by the end of the day, we could close up near the highs like we did last Thursday, and then maybe we sell tomorrow. Remember, big deal, Friday, Bank of Japan. That's even bigger than the Fed, I think. Remember how this sell-off started. It was with the Bank of Japan, right, on the 27th of July, and that was the high, the exact high. And so we took off there. And lately, you know, the FOMC has been kind of a nothing burger, so... but yeah, market's trying to hang in here. We'll see if we can squeeze back up. Tesla getting a nice pump there. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that pattern is still fine. So Tesla looks okay. That's a decent pattern there. Let's look at Amazon. I know Amazon. Yeah, trying to hold that trend line. Got this request a lot from an individual about Meta. Meta is holding up. Down 20 basis points today. Nothing crazy. You're holding trend here. If you take this pivot out, though, especially on a weekly close, my concern with Meta would be there ain't no support. I mean, yeah, 235, 240, but there's nothing here on the monthly, on the bigger time frames, and it really reminds me of Apple, right? So just even on the weekly, you can see it too. Just look at that, right? No support there. So Meta, you know, if you own it, trail your stop, keep a stop below this. If you want to short it, you can look for a lower high, but I would wait for it to break 300 first at least, because there's still support here at 280. But weekly close below that pivot, then it gets interesting. Let's look at Netflix, and a lot of the members talking about that in Discord today, and last week or so. 393, and that can still get down to 370 here. So just kind of rifling through some names right now. I don't know, Max. Max saying, did Jay make the call one way or another? I am not listening to him right now. Usually I have him on. Let me just go check Twitter here. I'm sure Walter Bloomberg is all over it. Powell, nominal wage growth has shown some signs of easing. Powell, we are prepared to raise rates further if appropriate. And you can see here, Zero Hedge captioned that with the Saudis and Putin. Powell will do everything to achieve our goals. Michael Guyad freaking out as usual. But yeah, markets are hanging in there for right now. Yeah, Tozy's saying weakness in semis is real, even if we bounce short term here. I don't think semis are going to lead. Just look at NVIDIA. There will be a few tech stocks like Tesla. The semis have my attention here. Yeah, whenever they're weak, I don't like that. You know, especially if you take this pivot out, that gets interesting, right? Especially on a weekly close. There's no, I mean, we're looking at this trend line right now, and that's fine. But you start breaking these levels, there's nothing down to 130. I don't like that look there. And NVIDIA, I think this is very top heavy, as you guys know. There's competition coming from everywhere, AMD, Broadcom. Intel's actually getting it turned around a little bit here, so they're not going to be they're not going to be the only ones on the block soon. Also, the CEO is selling 120 million worth of shares in the last month. So this is leading semiconductor too. So yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, Frank, I'm not sure. I'm not watching it right now. I'm asking about see on Twitter people offering trading indicators, green dot buy, red dot sell. You know what metrics they use to get these types of indicators? Are they useful? I believe you're referring to. I'm not sure if I have. I'm sure I have it on here. I'm not sure the name of it. I know what you're talking about, though. If anybody knows what the name of it is, it's you're talking about those dots, like so. This is it's green in an uptrend, red in a downtrend. It flips on the trend. Is that what you're talking about? That's what I would assume that it is. It's basically just like a trend indicator, if we're thinking of the right thing here. Alpha something. It's definitely an upper study, so. Alpha study, alpha 2 maybe? Nope. SAR, yeah. I think that's it. Parabolic SAR. I think that's it. Oh, they always gotta do this. Yeah, is that it? SAR? These usually will flip. You can change the color to them. Either way, I'm not sure if that's what they're referring to, but it is some indicator. That is one that I know of, anyway. Yeah. Anyways, Tozy asking about Blackstone. Very unusual volume on September 15th. Looks like a dark pool order. Well, the dark pool won't show up on this, but yeah, it might be. Now that I see it, it probably is a swap. So when you see heavy volume like that, 117 million shares on something that trades 4 million, 3 million a day, and you don't see the price move at all, and look at how it happened on the close here. This was also, take a look at this, September 15th, that was OPEX. So this was probably some type of rebalancing, and it may have been a swap. So probably something to do with that, rebalancing and or a swap there. That's what my guess would be. Probably there's probably a dark pool print too. Usually if there's a swap that high, there's going to be something in the dark pool, especially if prices move. But it looks like rebalancing. You see how it's on OPEX Friday, right at the close? That's probably some type of rebalancing. But Blackstone's had a really nice run too. Look at that nice little trend line break. That probably wants to get to 120. Market's hanging in there. Bonds trying to come off the lows. 30 years holding up okay. Let me take a look at the 10-year. Yeah, 10-year pulling back to the flat line. Yeah, this is whipsaw. Vivian saying what Bank of Japan can do to change the market. Don't we all expect they will stop easing, which is priced in the market? They might. The last time they freaked the market out, though. If you look at crude here, this is putting pressure on the yen, right? So, and in fact, if we look at the US dollar yen, This is, I don't really see anything that says this can't get to double top. And the last time we were at double top, the market was freaking out. So we'll see. But, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. That US dollar yen still gaining. In fact, let's look at the dollar while we're at it. I know it had a nice bid earlier. Yeah, so this is still holding up. That still looks fine to me. Nice inside bar there. Just FYI. Scourge saying Discord public or paid. It's paid right now. I'm planning on doing maybe at some point doing a free blog as well, but that's in a little bit of time. But it is a paid Discord right now. Yeah, it may have been a third party indicator. Yeah. Yeah, Cal's hold the room or sell the fact tomorrow will be red. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would do if I wanted the market down. But the market, the bears got to come in here, right? They got to show up. It would be too easy if it happened today. You got there's a lot of things that goes on post FOMC, right? There's puts that cover, there's hedges that close out, right? That's what you're seeing right here. That doesn't necessarily mean it bids up. It could bid up and then last. If you get a positive reaction, you could see puts close. You can also see calls close. So there's a lot of fighting that goes on, a lot of algos bouncing around. So that's why it's usually like, okay, Thursday's the real move. But market's hanging in there. Look at where are we sitting. 44.45. We're right near that 44.50 handle. They're going to kill. Somebody said earlier, I was like, be careful. They might just kill directional bets here. And so far, that's what they're doing. But we'll see. Maybe they can float it up a little bit higher. It's only 2:47, so there's still an hour of action to go here. Just saying, yeah, nat gas producer, oil producers getting smacked down. Yeah, I stopped out of the second half of my AR today. At break-even exit on the second half, and then of course it came off the lows. But it is what it is. I'm not sure what this wants to do here. It's holding up okay. This could actually gap and go tomorrow. I would not rule that out. You could have like a abandoned baby type look if this pushes up, because the weekly is still okay. But just from a risk management standpoint, I already took profit on the first half. I'm not going to let it go against me on the second half. This goes lower. I'm interested at 24, though. That's where you broke out from. But we'll see. CRK coming in. I think, didn't EOG or somebody have a lawsuit? There was some type of lawsuit or something that came up on EOG. It was EOG or EQT a week or two ago. It's kind of putting them under pressure here. But these weekly patterns are still very good. Like, look at LNG, Cheniere. That's still very strong. Chesapeake is still fine. Even EOG weekly, I don't really see any problems yet. EQT, that's just a retest of the 20. And again, AR here, there's nothing to say this doesn't pop back up by the end of the week. You still have an inside bar. So, but yeah, they are getting hit a little bit today. Yeah, Mahmoud asking about Ford. Let's look at Ford. So right now, Ford's got some resistance here at 1280. So that red bar, that was your breakdown. We rallied back up. We pushed up to the 100 MA, and now just kind of chopping around here. So if it can firm up, it can push through that, and then you've got a decent shot. I'm going to look at the weekly here. Yeah, you got a weekly inside bar too. So you got to get a weekly close above 1296. I can put that in there, right? So look at that exact. That's your big resistance there, and that's on a weekly. You get a weekly close above that, I think Ford can go to 13. But right now you've got a weekly inside bar, and that could be setting up for a down move down towards that 11 handle again. So I'd be careful with Ford here. You had a nice little breakout there, and then you kind of faded that whole move already. So be careful with it. If it firms up though on the daily and puts in kind of a flag here and starts to grind up here, then it can push through that. You get a weekly close above that, then it can really squeeze up. But right now I got a little weekly inside bar. Market's slipping here. So VIXy trying. Let's look at the actual VIX. Wow, it's flat as a penny. Look at that. Interesting look here. Bonds coming back in. So 2 years starting to come back down again. Banks going red here. KRE's red. KBWB red. XHB turning red. What else we got here? Broadcom rolling over. IGV rolling over. All right, so we got some 44.25 coming out potentially. Let's see, what are we sitting at right now? 44.33. Oh, okay, the Bears can make it interesting here. I don't know what Powell's saying right now. You guys have to tell me. Powell, soft landing remains plausible income. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. Powell says he wouldn't call a soft landing a baseline expectation. Interesting. So they're finally admitting it. Yeah, no problem, JK. Kevin asking about PSAR. Is that on the TSX potentially? So let me see if I have it on TradingView. I did cover Meta. But basically, this is still an uptrend, but this does not have any monthly support or really weekly support for that matter outside of 240. If you take this out on a weekly close, that's a big problem. But right now, the trend is still up on Meta. So if you own it, trail your stop. If this starts to roll over, it has a lot of real estate. I would be careful with it. But right now, it's still technically okay. Gold, yeah, gold's holding up. GLD's hanging in there. Let's see, gold, yeah, gold had a nice little pop. So it's trying to get through this wedge here. And that's with the dollar holding up really well. Like my DXY here is just hanging in there fine. Typically, so just so you guys know, typically gold performs well up until a recession starts. When a recession starts, gold does not perform well, but it bottoms before everything. That's kind of the path I'm looking for here on gold. But today it's holding up. Let's look at silver. I haven't looked at silver much today. So yeah, silver hanging in there, up 1%. Nothing terrible. Yeah, Kevin saying, yeah, they need to say 44.31. That's right. That's the magic number. That's where it is, right there. This looks like whipsaw, though. I think, you know, if we saw a real sell-off, this would be a lot higher here. But I'm not going to rule anything out. It is FOMC day, so. Especially, you know, keep an eye on that 2-year. If that starts to start raging again, the market's not going to like it. Yeah, Max saying Tesla's high price is predicated on high oil prices. Yep. But you know what? It, how do you charge the Tesla though? That I think people forget about that. All right, semi's coming in a little bit here. Matt asking about crude. This is very top heavy. Right now, I would say I'd favor a pullback to 87.50. If this puts in a higher low, I'd say it goes to 93, 94, 95. That's all I have penciled in for it right now, though. I don't see it getting through that. At least not right now. But right now, if this continues lower, it should test the 20. If you get through that, you know, it's down to 83, 85. I'm not sure what it wants to do here. I'm not sure if it wants to have one more push up. I think risk reward for a swing short is pretty good up here if you get there, you know, in the next week or so. But I'm not sure if it wants to, you know, it's coming off the lows okay, so. Justin saying, what do you see with Bitcoin? A whole lot of chop. So 27.2, you know, it's holding on. It's trying to consolidate this 50 MA. The crypto market's very illiquid right now. That's why we're seeing these. Look at this move. It just gets faded. Tries to break down and gets faded, or faded in the opposite direction. I'm not touching it. The only way that I would touch it is if it goes down to 21.5, like in a straight line. Right now, though, I see weekly bearish in sidebar. And we did close below this power bar here too on a weekly, so that is negative. Vivian saying, do you still think tomorrow would be pump and dump if we close on the low today? I don't necessarily think we even need to close on the low. I think you could close into highs and still get a pump and dump. But right now, it just looks like a drain fest. They're just killing option buyers. Right, like I said, don't be surprised if we close right at 44.50. I mean, you got to figure Powell just said the most hawkish thing ever by saying that that soft landing is not the base case, and the market's still, it's just still hanging in there. At least for now, anyway. Yeah, well, the volume's going to suck, though, Tozy, because the first 4 hours, nobody's trading. So it should obviously pick up by the end of the day, but you got to take into account there was nothing but bots trading from 9:30 until 1, or 9:30 until 2, really. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Hit the like button if you're in here and you like me. You like stonks. I'll look at CCJ for offline here. You know, this is just really, it's resilient right now. So we did have a topping tail though. That's a pretty good sell signal. And then an engulfing 2 days later. I think it wants to go test 37.50. That's where I think it's got a decent amount of support. If that fails though, then, you know, this can go down to 33, but it's holding up right now. You're just, you know, you're into a lot of monthly resistance. You have a big run here, a nice wedge, big power move, but you know, it's just a little extended. There's a lot of FOMO going on here, and you know, when I see that, I tend to favor kind of the opposite side. I still think if you're a hodler, you're fine. No real reason to get out of it, but if you're long, just trail your stop. URNM, same kind of deal. But you know, they're holding up. They're trying. Denison, UEC, URA, they're holding up. Max, this is we're live. We're live here, like publicly live. Yeah, this is not a member stream today. Sir, you can't swear here. We're live. Yeah, Tomcat. Yeah, Bitcoin's untradeable to me right now, outside of scalps. You know, I won't do it until the liquidity comes back. I don't want it. And you know what? It's gonna get to 21.5, but I guarantee you, mark my word, write this down. It's gonna happen on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock when nobody's paying attention, and you're not gonna be able to buy it because it's gonna happen before you get a chance to buy it. Or they'll do it at like 5 p.m., like right after the futures close or something like that. They're gonna do something sneaky. Yeah, let's look at Square. Yeah, Square is taking oh, wow, that is taking a dump. That's new 52-week lows for SQ. Careful. I mean, you're going back to the pandemic lows. Let me try and break this down here, just because this is interesting to me. Yeah, I mean, 42 maybe. Might want to go down there. $40. That is getting whacked. That is almost at all-time lows. Another one too that's in trouble is PayPal. This, you know, believe it or not, I know this sounds crazy. This can go to $40. You know, this is your, you know, you got monthly bear flag here. That can go down to 40. There's no support here. Yeah, those, how's Kathy doing? Oh, Kathy's green. Kathy's up 1 cent. Yeah, if it wasn't for Tesla, this would be in a lot more trouble. Yeah. Nunez saying, what mechanism makes 2-year yield upselling of 2-year yield notes? Yeah. So whenever, or if bonds shorts, or yeah, you're seeing those notes being sold, it's going to make the yield go up. Less demand for the bond means more that the issuer is going to pay, or more yield the issuer is going to offer to entice buyers, essentially. Awesome, Randy, or Randall, should I call you that? Glad to have you aboard, though. What has high P Square? Yeah, it's still, yeah. Yeah, that's in rough shape. Let's look here. Russell coming in. So we got an hour left. They got to save this now. Let me see. Yeah, there's the yield. So yields, oh man, yields are going back up here. Good, Randy. Okay, good. I took the liberty of jumping ahead. Yeah, Justin, glad you brought that up. I'm looking at this, you know, this at an all-time low. You know, I know Kevin was saying 15. You know, I wouldn't have a problem with you trying it there. Or what you can look for is, you know, a big, like, I guess another one of these and just try it with a stop below the low on heavy volume. Man, yeah, this is, and their earnings weren't even that bad either. That's the funny thing. Yeah, dollar recovering. Dollar is almost green. 10-year is holding up really well. Transports are holding up really well too. This looks like a mixtape here. Yes, Max, I'm doing one tomorrow too, as usual. So this is the big level here today. My guess is, I don't know, man. It looks like they're gonna save it. If they were gonna break it, I think they would have done it by now, but we'll see. Maybe they flush in the last hour. They kind of have to show up now, though. You're a bear. Bill asking to short the Russell. If you want to try it and just put a stop above the neckline, you can. I mean, if you want to just try it, you'd probably get it down to 176. You got a tight stop here. Just put a stop above today's high on a close. It's definitely weak. Yeah, it really looks like the indexes are pinned though right now. I think if we were legitimately going to go down, this would be taken off. It still can, but we'll see. Yeah, Justin, that's a good point. Seeing a lot of talk on Twitter about Chewy, some might drop a bit more. It might. Yeah, you got to get people to really hate it. Yep, Tozy, you're exactly right. And I have some ideas of windows for that to happen. So he's saying, meanwhile, VIX unbothered, this volatility, selling, and compression is going to destroy folks at some point. Just because it's working all year doesn't mean it will keep working. That's kind of how it happens, right? It works until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it doesn't work all at once. That's how you get 2017 and 2018, Volmageddon. We're actually, I've read already that we are at 2017 levels of dispersion, meaning right now you've probably noticed, and I talk about it quite often. Like last week I was like, notice how they sold off Nvidia really sharply. The same day Tesla was up 10%, right? So the indexes are pinned. So if something goes down, something else has to go up. So when tech's down, the banks are up, and vice versa. They're selling vol, right? And we're basically at 2017 levels of that. Eventually that will unwind. And it's going to unwind hard. But yeah, that's kind of how it's set up right now. We are in a pocket of weakness though. So that's why I keep saying the bears gotta do it now. Like if you're going to do it, take this bar out, take out this trend line. But yeah, I mean, eventually the macro will win out. It's a matter of how much longer does it take. Maybe today Powell gave the market a dose of reality, saying that the soft landing was not the base case. All right, so we're hanging here at the lower end. Yields are continuing to hold up. That's the futures. Yeah, 2-year note yield or 2-year yield is at 5.127. This is the futures. It's a little bit different. TNX holding up, and the 30 years holding up as well. So yields are still. This is kind of problematic here. So kind of going back to what I said at the beginning. If you follow the channel, you know I talk about this every day. This is the extent of the wiggle room that the Fed has. That's it. They paused today. So and then they don't have a meeting until November. So if we get above that, this gets above that line, yeah, maybe we see the vol unwind like we just talked about. I think they're walking a tightrope here by pausing today. I know that the market priced it in, but yeah, if something happens to make that yield go up again, the market does not want to see that. Yeah, Max, it's yeah, it's a pet company. You got it. All right, let's see. What are we at here? SPX 4431. They're hanging right on that line, too. Okay, so if we were to close here, I'm just going to say right now, so we got, so 4431.68, we're right there. Let's just say we close a few pennies above that. The bulls, you need to basically gap and go tomorrow. I would say, because if you can't buy off the FOMC, it's kind of a red flag. And here we go, starting to slip, semis, lows of the day. $4,400 starting to gain steam, some 0DTs. Even Tesla coming back in. Broker dealers low of the day. Transports taking out the opening range low. XLE hanging in there okay. IGV's red now. All right, 2-year selling off. 2-year yield 5.13. Yeah. Can someone tell Powell that they drained the SPR and his rationale about crude moves up and down, so we're not in trouble, is just plain stupid? Yeah. Well, and they said that they might drain, that Biden said that a drain to zero is on the table. That's not going to go over well. Especially considering we are like de facto in wartime right now. All right, market's slipping here. Let's see if we get a show. Triple Q is about to take out yesterday's low. 366.80. Gotta save it. There goes VIXI. Still only 45 million shares, but there's 45 minutes to go. If we really start to sell, the volume can pick up. It also would not shock me one bit if it just bounces here and closes at 442, but let me see if there's anything we can check here. Yeah, the hourly band's starting to open. It's not good. Justin saying the small gap on the VIX at 1216. I don't think so. From January 2020, I don't really concern myself with gaps from on the VIX that are that old. Just because, you know, this tracks futures, and like recent gaps like this one, you know, when we go and fill it, that's kind of matters, but one from that long ago on the VIX, I don't really find it that important. Looks like we hit a new low here, 1268. Yeah, we actually hit a new low there on the VIX. This is like a bleed. Yeah, Frank saying Nvidia insider selling continues. Yeah, he sold up I think 120 million in the last month. Like that's not just like, oh, I'm just like taking profits selling. That's selling. That's a lot. And I'm talking about Jensen Huang, so everybody knows, CEO of Nvidia. A lot of selling. Scourge saying requesting the last 15 minutes type 0DT gamble option spread on SPX 500 with say 550, 495, 450 odds on expiry. Right now, if you wanted to take a gamble, I would just go at 4,400. 4,400 to 4,425. They could pin it here. If the bears break 4,425, we'll go to 4,400. And wow, Frank, I know you can see this, but there's a ton of delta volume. It's all turning red now. Yeah, there goes the VIXY. There we go. Even Tesla about to go red here. Yeah, I think they've done damage max. I agree. If they were going to pump it, they would not have let it get this far down. Hammer saw saying, Musk brother top tick Tesla. What did he say? Because I was in a meeting earlier and this pumped up. I saw it pumping. I didn't know what happened. But yeah, I did see it obviously pumped up on something. Watching those semis. Watch that trend line. Hanging in there. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're... Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I remember. Yeah, it was a while ago. Well, and didn't he say, if I remember correctly, he said something, right? He said something to pump it. He said some BS, right? And then it came out like a couple days later. Oh, there's a 13F filing, and yeah, I remember that. Yeah, expert level top sale. Not as good as Richard Clarita, though. Not, yeah, not as good as being a federal, a governor of the Federal Reserve and then selling right here and then retiring like a month later before the sell off. Yeah, I don't think they're not saving it, Kevin. If they were going to save it, they would have done it by now. They wouldn't have let it get this far down. Yeah, Google melting down a little bit too. Oh, nice outside move there. All big tech taking a little bit of a hit here. Meta down 1.6, Tesla back to flat, Nvidia 1.6, Apple down 1.5. I still think that's a bear flag. We take this out. It's going to 160. Amazon trying to hang on to that trend line. Microsoft probably wants to revisit 310 there. Let's see how Berkshire's doing. Even Berkshire red. Wow. I think is he in here, Max? Yes. Yep. Tozy saying bears need to close SPY below the trend line we broke intraday yesterday. For me more so, I'm going off SPX because of the dividend. But you know, you take out that green bar, I think it's cooked. And even more so, if we look at a weekly, this is if you close below 414.98 on a weekly, you're confirming that failed pop or failed breakup bar. And then we could talk about levels getting more interesting here. That 20-week moving average will not be major at all. Could get down to this trend line, which I think it's got to get tested, right? I mean, look how symmetrical. It should get down there. But they got to confirm. They got to do it. They got to do their job, you know. Look at the Russell. There's your head and shoulder. That's in play. Yep, they were loading the boat right before announced zero rates. Yeah, they all had, Powell still has a trust, I think, in that. He has like a bunch of long index funds. Travis asking about Unity. Yeah, they, I know we were talking about that in the chat. It took a pretty good slice. You also got to remember, though, I mean, this is already down in the dumps as it is. I mean, this is not, you know, there might not be a lot of pans to shake out on this, so I'm not saying it can't go lower. It can always can, but yeah, that's why we love him, Max. All right. So the spider's here trying to bounce. Just doing a quick scan. Yeah, yields are the 2 years basically. The 2-year note is basically at the low of the day here. So what did I say a minute ago about 44.25? There you are. And here's our little trend line. Let's go to there's your hourly look. You got about 30 minutes left. Randy saying RTY about to hit 61 million. Let's take a look. Are you sure? Are you talking about, 618. I'm thinking of the volume. From here or from here? Yeah. Whoops. Yep, right there, 1825. The only thing though is you already kind of got close to it twice and bounced. So I would just be careful. I wouldn't look to buy that. I'm not saying it can't hold, but you got close to it twice here and bounced and then put it in a lower high. So just be aware. I think this area is the 7.5 is a better level. If we look at the IWM too, I see what you're looking at. IWM, I would say, why is it doing that there? IWM, I would say, 180 is probably decent. At least short term, but I think the big level is it wants that gap though. So is he saying if there's a stock, it would be a no-brainer to pick up here for short, long-term? I'll go with Pfizer. If we get a year-end rally, other stocks are going to get piled into. Thoughts on it? If we get a year-end rally, I think there's a lot of stuff that can. I think, Pfizer might be a name. I like General Mills too. When you guys pointed this out in the chat a week or two ago, I kind of like this level here, and right there, that 50% fib with that breakout. I don't hate that level. I'm in CAG, as many of you guys are with me. This is just can't get out of its own way right now. But again, I'm kind of going with consumer staples here for a reason. You know, especially if we start to see a slowdown, these are the names you might want to own. They're also laggard. They could be laggard bulls. Another thing that if we do get a year-end rally, I know we joked about it earlier, but like Kathy. Could be something to look at. I mean, obviously pattern pending, because I don't think big tech, if we rally into end of year, my base case is that big tech does not follow. I think big tech is topped out for the most part. We might see some of these mid, smaller cap tech kind of catch up. I know they're kind of shit companies, but like I said, there's lots of vol dispersion. So something's going to have to go up, right? Look at biotech, XBI. This has been just roasted. This has not recovered at all. So something, but I do like consumer staples, like you mentioned. Like not that Pfizer's a consumer staple, but old world stocks, old economy stocks. I think you're thinking of the right idea. Max saying, did they officially pause? Remember way back EW, I was passing out a chart that we're right after Fed pause. So, no, they did raise the dot plot 50 basis points. So basically, they're saying that they're going to hike again. So they did not officially pause. No problem, Randy. No problem. Jay Singlis asking about Kraft Heinz. So this is another one that I would say is a good consumer staple here. Actually, I have no idea when I put this trend line on there, but it hit there and it bounced. So, yeah, so that's been a point of control 33 for a long time. Looks like we hit that, and then we got a little bull flag and a pop there. So they won't benefit from inflation. Inflation hurts everything, really, except for like energy companies so much. It's gonna hurt margins, but if we go into stagflation, recession, that type of thing, this is kind of what you want to own. It's a defensive name, right? It pays a dividend, right? You don't want to own high beta. Except in, certain like short bursts and so on and so forth. But yeah, this is kind of the same type of deal though. Yeah, I like the level on GIS, so it's not bad. And yeah, nice bounce there. Very overdone. Very overdone here. Pays a dividend. Oh yeah, the bio. Well, yeah, the small caps bios are really bad. Like really bad. Those are just like kind of spec plays, but some of the like larger cap ones aren't so bad though. All right, let's see here. All right, so the little bounce is getting faded. Let's see what we can get here. We're below 44.25. The Bears can punch it through there. We go to 4,400. That will happen today. There's also a little gap there at 44.05. Yeah, exactly. Trade beta, and then yeah, invest in stuff pays you to own it. Yeah, exactly. And you buy those things when they're on discount, right? Like that's why I like Conagra here. This company makes money, right? And it's clearly hated right now, so it's on discount. Though that's the way I look at it. And again, like you said, it pays you to own it. All right, here we go. Come on. I think it is chow mein. Did I get your name right this time? Did I say it right? I think I finally got it. All right, yeah, Semi's low of the day, Spider's low of the day. Google. What else? Transports, broker dealers, IGV, all new low of the day. Got it. Okay, cool. All right, Barfy time. Let's see, if only 51 million. Not that, I mean, you got to take it with a grain of salt, but because this was much lower than average volume for the first 4 or 5 hours, whatever it was. And we picking up pretty good here. Oh, JPM downgraded DG. I'm watching, that's another one I'm watching too. I believe we talked about this in the chat. I think I like DLTR better. I think if I'm thinking of it right, yeah. Just because I like this level here. So you got a 618 at 105. And then if you stack this fib right here, you get a 7.5 retrace at 107. So I like this at 105, but yeah, it is. They always downgrade stuff at the lows and they upgrade at the highs. I think DG, yeah, same level pretty much, 105, 100. Really good risk reward here. I don't know if it gets down there, but yeah, these are the types of things you want to look at. Yeah, 110, this 110 area here on DG, this should be good support. Let me see. You can see it better on a weekly. Yeah, there you go. Big support level. Good area to start accumulating. You know, right in this zone here. And I mean, it helps that it's insanely oversold getting into that too. But talk about taking the stairs up and the elevator down. Wow. All right, big wide range sell. Apple low of the day, Tesla low of the day. That's a tough look. You know, think about how many people chased Tesla up here at the highs. And that is coming in. Okay. Bears showing up, so we confirm that lower high and lower low now. 44.13. Yeah, we're going to 4,400, guys. Why is Carvana getting smoked, Kevin? How's that possible? Yeah, DXY ripping. Yep, that totally turned itself around. Yeah, like I said earlier, it wasn't, you know, the dollar, like it was pulling back, but it's not like it was breaking down. Let's look at Eli Lilly. Yeah, tough call. You did have decent volume on this little dump. You know, if you want to try it, I mean, you can try it with a stop above the high. And that might have been a little blow-off move there. Man, that's high on the hog too, huh? Man, look at that. Oh, well, look, I mean, maybe if you come in with a next Friday, monthly close, if you come down, it could be telling you there's a top in. It is parabolic. Watch that monthly close on Eli Lilly. Yeah, appreciate it, Max. If you haven't done so, give me the likes. Yeah, good day to be in international stocks, yeah. Little pukey here. Oh, yeah, we're going to 4,400. That's... Yep. They're going to flush it down there. Yeah, I know. It's always saying, tired of all these doji closes. I don't think we're going to have one today. Finally. Good sell here. So bear showing up finally. And that is a, what? Failed inside bar pattern now. Chowman asking about RMD support levels. Yeah, kind of right here, right? 138. Yeah, oh, you got the 100-month moving average there too. And you're into that. Below the 7.5. One thing I'll say about this, oh, it's got volume now. Previously, it didn't trade a lot of shares, but yeah, if you get through this, I mean, 120 would be a slam dunk, like an absolute home run. But I would say your best bet is probably about 138 right now. But just be aware, so like this doesn't trade a ton of volume, and it's coming down on a lot of volume, so it can overshoot. You know, maybe 125 even. Yeah, that's gotten smoked though. You get nice Scourge. Yeah, good job. Cover it at yeah, cover it before it gets too close though, because they might unwind it at the end. They should be one more little micro puke though, at least. Because they just made a statement with that. They're gonna wipe out, you know, they wiped out anybody who just bought that dip yesterday, so. Yeah, Hank saying all the calls bought yesterday, 50% higher premium turned into pumpkins. Yep. 'Tis the season. Oh man, you're asking about Celsius. You know, oh wow. I didn't know it was down 8% today. Jeez, yeah, that is bad. People complain about super microcomputer, but then Celsius gets away with murder here. Look at this. Look at this. This was, you know, in 2020 it was $3 a share. It's 200 now. Yeah, that's an outside move down. It probably wants 160. You know, you'll have some support at 170 with that 50 MA in the daily, but yeah, big sell on Celsius finally coming back to earth there. Finally coming back to earth. All right, where are we at here? 4409. Yeah, well, we should get one more little dump. They want that gamma. VIX can close above 15 to get spicy. Yeah, the VIX can gap up though. The VIX can just gap and go if it wants to. But yeah, I would say getting above that pivot would be, yeah, I'd want to see that as a bear actually. Because if this move is strong for bears, like you should be able to take that out. Because that tells you that there's future fear beyond just today. Celsius below 100. Yeah, probably. I'm just saying near term. You know, 160, 150. Yeah, VIX above 19 soon. I think it gets up there before the end of the year. So we should get even if this just ends up being a move down to here and then we go up into the end of the year, the VIX should get to 19. I think that's totally reasonable. Here we go. Good. And here's another thing for bears too. I like what you did today. Because where was the high of the day? 20 MA, kiss, and then down. Euro wrecked. Let's see. How is the euro? Yep. The euro probably wants 104.50. We'll say 105 for now. Max, what did you miss? Wave 4 is over. Yeah, Celsius, it's a darling stock right now. Yeah. I mean, they definitely had they've definitely earned their flowers to an extent. I mean, they've really taken the scene by storm. But yeah, it's definitely like way overdone at this point. CAD. Yeah, your wave four that you were talking about yesterday, Max. If I remember correctly. Yeah, dollar getting a nice reversal against CAD there. The dollar should get to 106, 106.50. That has not changed. So there is nothing wrong with that pattern. That's ready to go up there. By the way, 2-year yield 5.15. That's a new 16-year high. ZT, new lows. This is why I said, like, I don't know why they would consider pausing today with the Fed funds rate only 25 basis points ahead of this 2-year. That there's going to be a problem. And now there's not a Fed meeting until November. So, sorry. They rolled the dice too many times. $44.09 on the SPX. Should give us one more little puke here. I do believe they want that gamma. It's right there. It's right there. Yeah, a 2-year going for 22-year high next. Let's take a look at that while we're just sitting here. Yeah, so you'd have to go to, wow, look at this. So 07, 06, so it would be, what, 16, 17 years, and then, yeah. And then from there, it's like way to like 2000. You got to go all the way back to 2000, basically. That's why I said for like the longest time, like everybody's talking about rates going down. I mean, look at that pattern on the 10-year. That is not telling me it wants to go down. There's the 30. Fives look good too. 5 looks like it wants 5%. You imagine if the 5-year goes to 5%, which it looks like it does. Yeah, exactly. They're about to be behind the curve again. Yeah. Yeah, and we have the ES contract app. Let's take a look at that too. Well, we've got that one, which we filled. And then down to 4,300, yeah. By the way, look at that rising wedge. Down yesterday, back up. Basically back tested to it today and then down. Nice move. Good textbook pattern there. Yeah, this is the watch party. Yeah, it's going good. I'm glad there was actually something that happened instead of, another doji finish. So nice fireworks going off. Chowman, I'm looking at 0DTE. I'm just looking at the gamma exposure on 0DTEs. What were you referring to there, Scourge? Discord, I don't remember only. I do have a swing trading alert site with a Discord right now, if that's what you're asking about. Hello, so I'm looking at it a little differently. I've talked about this before, but I have us in kind of a secular bear right here. So if you kind of look at, I'll just go over it briefly, but if you look at 1987 to 2000, it's 13-year period, and we went up 7.2x from 2009 to 2022, 13-year period, we went up exactly 7.2x. So I have this kind of not perfect, but I have us in kind of a chop period for the next decade. So there'll be kind of like mini bull and bear markets in between that, but I don't have us. If you look at the 70s, I think it's closer to what we're going to do now is closer to 68 to 82, where we maybe make new nominal highs, but in inflation terms, we lose value. So I think it's going to be a lot more of a trader's market. That's kind of how I've had it based out. Oh, appreciate that, Scourge. Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, I just got it launched last week. Well, I've had the swing trading alerts for 2 years now, but the Discord is now up, and that's pretty fun. So. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Right before the market closes, I'll get the members video out to you guys who are members, and I think we're just gonna. Let's see. Maybe they plug it down, but yeah, obviously they didn't save this, so that's a failed inside bar. Bottom line, and we're below that trend line now too. Next level, you do have the 100 MA. That is potentially a higher low, but we have done some chart damage now. Bears have confirmed trend. There's the SPY. You can see that triple Qs. Obviously confirmed below that, and they're going to lose this 366.23 too. So that's below. Next level is down to that purple trend line. So nice break for the bears. They needed to prove it. They've finally done that. And we'll see what we get tomorrow. Obviously, the weekly close will tell us a lot more. But again, we'll unpack that when we get there. So, alrighty, guys. Yeah, awesome little watch party. Had a good time. You guys take care.